Several of us who founded this group work at Jamestown. We are archaeological interpreters. We explain the archaeology to the visitors from all over the country. And what we hear frequently is, I'd like to do that. Yeah, get down in the dirt. And the answer is, there is no opportunity around here. Certainly not at Jamestown and not at Williamsburg. So we said, it would make sense if we provided an opportunity for the public to do archaeology. And that's what we're doing right here, as you see in the background. We invite people to come in and we teach them archaeology.
We have this wonderful site out here which we think is going to produce a lot of artifacts and really contribute to history while getting the public exposed to and involved in doing archaeology. And I was here last fall, we did this the first time, and I can tell you the look on people's faces when they pull out a piece from the ground that no one's seen in 300 years is really a great experience.
If you're interested in history, you also should be interested in how do you find out about history, and archaeology is certainly one of those areas. So we put the Fairfield Foundation in contact with the Tidewater Group, and that's what brings us out here today for those two organizations, and the Fairfield doing the field work, supervising it, puts the three groups back together that I sort of independently went through over a period of time of finding the groups and finding the enjoyment that I've had in archaeology.
You constantly get to meet people and watch their eyes be opened to this new way of finding information where they were just walking around on it the whole time. And I have the excitement myself, but I just love watching it in other people.
I find archaeology very exciting. Ever since as a kid, I was fascinated with archaeology from at least fourth grade, and I think I still have that excitement. Whenever I go to a site, it's knowing that you don't know what's there. That's really the challenge. Like whether it's Fairfield, where we've been working for 14 years, or New Quarter Park, where we've only done 2 small excavations, or a site where we're just visiting for the first time. You don't know what's there. And so that idea of we're going to be here, we're going to try to discover what's here, answer questions, that part's always exciting. And of course the challenge is you come in with some questions, but you always end up with more once you start finding things. They just prompt more questions, and that's what's always been exciting to me is you're just prompting more questions every single time you come to a site.
One of the greatest joys we have as archaeologists is to work with the public. Every day we get the opportunity to learn from them, and to have that as part of my job description quite honestly makes me one of the luckiest people on the earth.
We are a very active group, especially our Archaeological Society chapter. I characterize us as the best chapter in the state simply because we are archaeologists. We are not people who just get together once every 3 months and talk about things. We are out finding sites. We are writing history. We found North End Plantation. We found a significant 18th century site under a Confederate earthwork. We are locating other sites all over Virginia, and we are trying to come up with the research designs and also to add that to the history. And that's part of what's important about this site. Today, since this morning, we have added that there is a 17th century component to this site. Up till 10 o'clock this morning, we thought we had exclusively an 18th century site, but in context, in a preserved strata, we found 2 definite 17th century artifacts, which is very exciting simply because that adds another complete layer to the history of this property. So now we know that under the 18th century context, there is a 17th century story to be told here also, which is very exciting since there's so little known and written about the 17th century in Virginia. So the artifact, the pipe bowl we found is just an incredible artifact that should be on the cover of a Smithsonian. It is truly worth that. But that's part of the reward, and seeing the expressions on our volunteers' faces when they are participating and being part of something so significant as bringing those artifacts to light for the first time in 350 years. That is what it's all about.
The catharsis happens, and I've seen it many, many times, not only quite candidly in the avocational community, but within the professional community. This catharsis where suddenly it's not about the artifact. It's about the artifact as fossilized behavior. It's the artifact that tells us about culture, that tells us about the past. And I think that's the excitement. It's not, the projectile point that maybe is, 6.6 inches long and is, unbroken and very impressive. But it's reflecting on the hunter that used that. What was it used for? How was it used? When was it used? How did it interrelate between these people and their families and the region and the environment? And that's the excitement of archaeology. And I think that's where the mystery lies, and certainly for me, and hopefully we're sharing that view with the avocational community as well.